Now, I was pretty thrilled to see this. Space communication is finally taking some significant strides and changing for the better. In this test, NASA was able to achieve a downlink of 200 gigabits per second thanks to the T-Bird smallsat and the teams behind this mission. The T-Bird, or the Terabyte Infrared Delivery System, was launched into orbit on SpaceX's Transporter 5 mission. It's actually only really tiny, about the size of a tissue box, but it's helped make very giant leaps in the realms of laser communications. In fact, it was only last year that the team were able to achieve a 100 gigabit per second throughput between this satellite in orbit and the ground station on Earth. It can pass over the ground station twice per day for about 6 minutes at a time. And in just those 6 minutes, T-Bird can transfer over 2 terabytes of data. That is pretty crazy, isn't it? I guess the big question that people may have is this new fancy way of data transferring actually necessary? After all, we've been using radio waves to communicate with humans, spacecraft and satellites in outer space all this time. The bandwidth, though, is limited, and with evolving technology, the amount of data that we are acquiring and transferring back home is increasing tremendously. Seeing as we are heading back to the moon, hopefully Mars and beyond, we want spacecraft to have the latest high-speed technology. We are now recording state-of-the-art imagery and scanning data, so we need a communication system with faster downlinks and less interference. Quite often, it is the case that the transmission windows to transfer data can be quite short, especially with these types of orbits that have only got a tiny period where there is line of sight to the ground station. Using this advanced method of communication is going to make a world of difference. We are essentially, of course, talking about space lasers utilising infrared light, much higher frequency, so you can pack a lot more into the transmission compared to radio waves. There's some more benefits too. The equipment needed is smaller, lighter, and it requires less power. Now, because the transmission beam is more focused and secure, it does need to be targeted with increased precision, but given the ground equipment needed is comparatively low cost, there are so many benefits to this. You might actually be asking why we haven't been using this tech for years, given that fibre optic covers the world like a living nervous system. Well, one hassle that does come with this technology is that, unlike radio waves, infrared lasers can be easily distorted by the atmosphere. Teams at NASA and other partners involved are using protocols to help minimise this, and even the ground station is located on Table Mountain in California to minimise the cloud and atmospheric interference. For space communications though, in a full vacuum, the benefits are super obvious.